Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us live from the market site in Times Square, New York City, we have Matthew Nouzerath, CEO of Sandbox, and we're going to discuss building a Web3 creator ecosystem outside of the walled gardens and breaking down that barrier of entry. Matthew, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Market Site.
Hey, hi Jill. Thank you for having me.
So really, that's what the question is. How can we continue to keep Web3 focused on the creators and build it outside of those walled gardens and the high fees of the big tech gatekeepers?
I mean, the whole Web3 ethos is really about building a decentralized economy where the creators and the users have power. So the companies like the Sandbox, we're just a small, tiny middleman in between. We're building a platform, to help creators engage with the audience. That's all there is.
Good question for now, but how do you build resilient businesses in what's been a very volatile 2022?
Yeah, I think, first of all, it's not the first time we have a downturn market, not the last time. It's pretty common in tech and crypto, so I'm not worried long term. I think this is a time to build. This is a time to really put your head down and focusing on building great experiences and great product. And I think 2 or 3 years from now, you'll see this, coming out. And I think right now you have big, tech companies or big successful companies are being built now in this downturn market.
And we've seen that through prior downturns as well. That's really when you see the innovation and the drive to continue to build out the ecosystem here. Now, you think the future of metaverse revolves around gaming?
I think it revolves around gaming because, first of all, it's a great way to engage people, to onboard people. It's no secret that onboarding people in crypto is still a bit too hard, it's still a bit too geeky, and we think that gaming is the perfect way to really drive people to Web3. It's easy, it's fun. You meet people, and you don't even need to be into crypto to enjoy the Sandbox. You can just go to the Sandbox just to have fun and meet people.
I think it's interesting. Of course, you're here for NFT NYC week. Over 22,000 participants here this week, coming off of the back of Consensus, another 15,000 people there participating. I think what's really interesting in the NFT space, the Web3 space, how influencers, athletes, entertainers have really embraced it as part of their strategy, whether it's engagement, whether it's another distribution channel, whether they're in it simply for the art itself. Yeah,
and going back to what we said earlier, I think for artists, for athletes, it's a great way to engage the audience directly without going through intermediaries, without going through gated, communities, and so it's amazing for them. They can really reach out to their fan. And the fan can reach out to the artist or the athlete they like.
Right, and you don't need an agent or a middleman. To your point, you don't need a studio. You don't need the industry to support you to promote your art. And you had some notable announcements this week.
Yeah, we announced that we're working with Time Magazine. We're building Times Square, right? Almost like a replica of what's happening here. We're working with Warner Music. They will be building a Warner Music what we call experience inside the Sandbox, and it's coming soon. And yeah, we have tonight the event with Madonna. She's going to perform with the World of Women and the Sandbox.
Yeah, that really is quite remarkable. So when you think about even just the next year or two, because you know how fast the technology moves in this space, what does it look like when we're talking NFT NYC in 2023, 2024? What do you think we'll be focusing on?
I think we'll be focusing on NFT that have utilities beside going beyond just having a collectible value. And that's what everyone is working on, Sandbox, but also everybody else, and how we can create this utility and also this interoperability between projects. So, and that's really how Web3 is different from Web2. Web2 is really a zero-sum game. Web3 is a non-zero-sum game. So the more we work with others, the more we work even with our competitors, the better it is for everybody.
It sounds like the key theme I have been hearing is interoperability, that it needs to be figured out in a more proactive approach versus reactive, so you don't fall into a Web2 pattern where everything is operating in silos.
Exactly. We don't want to create a gated space. And I think it's really good for everybody. So for example, inside the Sandbox, if you have a World of Women NFT, we will automatically transform this into a 3D avatar for you. It's just an example, but we're working a lot with other partners to really being interoperable with their platform.
All right, Matthew, appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq.